scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
In today's digital world, technology works great until it doesn't. At Hamilton, we work to keep your business up and running. We are more than an IT company. We're your partner, focused on customized solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Say goodbye to tech stress and unexpected IT costs when you hire Hamilton. Together, we help you focus on what really matters. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Connect with us at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers. Well, it's true for heart health, too. Sprinkling in a few small changes can make a big impact on your heart health. Try adding a vegetable to your dinner or no salt seasoning. Looking for support in making these changes? Join a workshop to learn more about a healthy lifestyle. Search Chronic Disease Nebraska for more details. Paid for by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour show. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons. This is 93.7 The Ticket. Man, I hope everybody's doing well. I got to give a big shout out to Matt Warner out there in Waverly, Nebraska. Empire Fencing, man, you guys keep doing big things, and just know that I appreciate all the love and support that y'all continue to give the show and give me personally. So just keep doing big things. I had a topic for the show tonight that's very near and dear to my heart. Basically lifting people up. I love encouraging people, and especially our youth. I mean, I love uplifting anybody and everybody. Don't misunderstand me. But I just look at our youth as the future. And I went and found me a guest that specialized in uplifting young men from being teenagers to, I would call, productive members of society as young men. And I really admire that. So I asked this young man to be a guest on my show. I'm going to tell you a little something else about him, too. I don't know if y'all can see, but I'm wearing my Get Your Happy On gear. The man, my guest, is the reason why I have this line. He takes care of this for me, so I just want to show him some love tonight by sporting my Get Your Happy On gear. Javante Boyd, man, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me here today.
Well, Javante, I'll be real honest with you, man. I got some questions for you, and I just want I want everybody to know who Javante Boyd is. Not just, what you do now, but I want to go back. Where are you from, man?
I'm originally from St. Petersburg, Florida.
St. Petersburg, Florida, man. That's warm now. Okay, now walk me through this thing, man. You grew up there, or?
Yeah, I grew up in St. Petersburg. I didn't leave St. Pete until I was 18 and graduated, and then that's when I made my way up to the Midwest.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, you said you grew up in St. Petersburg?
Yep.
Okay. Did you play any sports, man?
Yeah, so growing up, down there, Little League football is everything.
That's the South.
Yep, the South. So Little League football is everything. So I actually didn't even start playing football until freshman year in high school because the youth down there, you had to make the weight.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, so I never made weight. So I was always that kid running with the plastic bag on, trying to make weight. And it wasn't happening.
So that kind of canceled you out because of your size?
Yeah, so then I took on basketball. I thought I was a hooper for a little minute. I played in all the little uh, rec leagues down there that we have, and did a lot of yard ball though in the neighborhood I grew up in.
Yeah, well, we call it street ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You step in the grass,
Yeah.
and that's when it's tackle.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I will say about growing up in the South, man, I think that's a common theme because growing up in Texas was real similar. We did all we needed was a vacant lot or
Yes.
or empty school playground with a basketball goal, and we kind of made our fun. We didn't have all the advance and technology that they currently have today. So I get it. We made do with what we had. So when you were finally able to play football, what grade were you in?
I was a freshman in high school. Went to my actually high school is Northeast.
Okay.
So I went to Northeast. We were the Vikings. Did that, and I played tight end and defensive line in high school.
How did you do, man? Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. But growing up, playing football, and I went to a school, on the opposite side of town. So they bused us across town to a school on the north side, and then the south side is where low income that I grew up in. So going through all of that, and now looking back on uh, the success I had, it's a blessing.
Yeah. Now, apparently, you had some success because after high school, I believe football was not over for you.
No, growing up, always everybody play a sport. You want to make it to the highest level. I wanted to be in the NFL, and so going through that process in high school, I actually had good grades, but we had that score high on the ACT. So I wasn't able to do that, and all my offers that I had, only a couple stayed, and so Kansas State was one of them, and so they actually sent me to a junior college. I went to Butler Junior College in El Dorado, Kansas.
Oh, okay.
And so that was my first experience of the Midwest weather. And that's my first time I saw a cow. Yeah. So I actually, funny story. I flew in to Wichita, Kansas.
Yep.
And the coach came and picked me up, and, I'm driving back from Wichita, which I thought was where Butler was at. But we go down, and I see us like lights, and I say, "Hey, coach, take me downtown." And he's like, "Okay." So he takes me downtown, El Dorado. Ain't nothing there, and I'm like, "No, coach, take me over there. Like, that's downtown. I want to see what it's like. It's an oil factory."
Oil factory.
So I'm thinking the lights that's on the the tall oil building is downtown, because that's where I'm from, a city.
Right.
That's all I know is city life. And so that's the first time reality kind of hit that we're not in the city anymore.
I'm not laughing at you, but it's kind of funny, man, because coming up here and wow, of all places, you're in Kansas.
Yes, in the middle of nowhere, basically.
What's the population of that little town where you were at?
Eldo probably got maximum 1,500, maybe 2,000, if that.
Wow, that's a neighborhood.
Yeah, so football is all that. That's all I can do. Butler Community College back then, I didn't know it, but it was only 10 out-of-staters was going to make the roster.
Oh, wow.
Out of 100, there were probably about 120 of us there. So only 10 of you will make the roster. And so I found out real quick that it's a business and you got to get going.
Right. Well, a lot of times, and this is for any of you out there that are, I call youth that are into sports. It's not always about making the big time, programs. You got to go where you got to go to get to where you got to get. And you got, from what I heard, you got to have your grades right.
Correct. And like I said, I try to tell our players from the jump, you got to understand your flaw. in
Mhm.
academics and on the football field. And once you do that, then you can work towards being successful and work towards your work on, just being positive.
So now at Butler College, did you do 2 seasons there?
So yeah, I made the team as a freshman, and we won a national championship my freshman year at Butler.
Wow.
And then I could have left and went to Kansas State, but um, my journey through loyalty is, it comes from football. And so, my D-line coach, Coach Bratt, you know, he passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, sorry for your loss.
He taught me that, you're only going to get one shot
Mm-hmm.
to show people your true colors. And
Right.
so, I stayed at Butler because I told him I just want to play for you, really.
Right.
So I stayed at Butler for the second year. We did okay. We made it to the playoffs. We didn't win a championship. But at Butler, that was the standard.
Yeah.
Winning the national championship was standard. They went back to back. The year I was in high school, they won it. The year I got there, we won it. And so I'm going through that whole process of 3-a-days because we're still doing 3-a-days when I was in my freshman year in college. And understanding that these guys respect you, but they're gonna respect you more through your play on the field.
Right.
And so, I had to learn that really quick.
Now, after you finished your second season at Butler, and I was just thinking when you said those 3-a-days, man, I'm glad they changed that because I don't wish that for none of these kids,
Nobody.
man.
No.
That's a whole different ball game there. Now, after your time at Butler, then you went on to K-State?
Yeah, so I got recruited from Ron Prince, and when he was at K-State, and then he got let go, and Coach Snyder came.
Okay.
So then Coach Snyder met him, and they liked my performance still and what I was doing at Butler. So they kept my scholarship that they were offering. And so when I got to K-State, it was on move-in day. I got moved into the dorm, and so my host family helped me move in. And then I went to the complex to check in, and they handed me shoes and told me to go to the indoor. I don't know what's going on at this point. I'm like, okay, they just want me to go see the D-line coach. Nah, they were doing a 9-station rotation. So it didn't take that long for me to have to start running and getting in conditioning and finding out that there's another side of the business.
Right.
So, right when I got to K-State, that day, my move-in day, I had to go to off-season conditioning.
See, I don't know if people understand that off-season conditioning piece. Let me explain a little bit here. We called it up here in Nebraska, I think they called it winter conditioning. And I did it my first year, but I never did it again because winter conditioning to me was way harder than actually the season because, man, they work you. I mean, after that first winter conditioning, I swore I would never go through another winter conditioning. So how I got out of it was I ran indoor track.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the only thing that got me out of it. But man, winter conditioning that's all. I mean, I see why they don't do it like they used to do it because that was pretty brutal, man.
Yeah, and as a incoming, so as a guy transferring in, I thought I was like gonna be with the older guys, but start over.
Yeah.
Coach Snyder was his second stint, so he was making everything basically hard.
Yeah.
So he was if you were gonna stay, you were gonna stay. If you were gonna quit, you were gonna quit. And we did winter condition 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We lifted at 4. My group, since I was the last group, we lifted at 4:00. Winter conditioning, the 9 stations plus running was at 5:00. So for my first semester, in my first lifting session was 10 sets of 10 on squat. Never forget it. At about 70-80%. Go into the indoor, run that hour, which I didn't make it, but they don't let you quit.
Nope.
And then conditioning afterwards. And so, going through all that after a while, you get used to it and you start growing and start looking around and you start seeing guys disappear. You start seeing new guys
the
come
roster starts in and out.
in. You see new guys start coming in, and they're really talented guys. But by my senior year, when I got to K-State, it was, well, this guy probably ain't gonna make conditioning. He can be really, really good, but mentally he's not ready for what's about to happen to him.
Mm. Now, you had 2 years at K-State, is that correct?
So my first year I got there, I redshirted, and then I had redshirted
Then you had 2
junior
more
year,
seasons.
senior, yeah.
Okay.
So I was able to, I try to tell some of my athletes now, I really don't talk about it much.
Yeah.
They know I played, but we didn't lose.
Right.
And so, coaching now and going through some of the things that we go through as coaches, it's a different challenge.
Yeah. Well, when you said K-State, I remember when you first told me that. I remember y'all did have a good squad because you was there in what years were you there?
So I was there in 2010 to 2012. And I think over those span, I think we only lost maybe a 10 games, maybe less than that.
Yeah.
Coach
Snyder, man, he was about his business. I do remember that because I think he was actually coaching them when I played, and that was way before your time. But K-State played hard, man. They always have played hard. I had a lot of success. My teams did against K-State, but we knew we was in the game.
Correct. Yeah. And my first, like I said, I'm not from here, so I don't know the history. I know a little bit now, but I didn't know the history of Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
And my first year at K-State, we are 5-0. We're playing Nebraska. It's at K-State, and you guys had the quarterback. I think his name Taylor Martinez. I think it was a freshman.
Yeah.
And coaches are talking about how big the game is going to be. I'm redshirted, so I'm just listening and taking it on, and watching the game now. Going back, Nebraska beat us bad that game, embarrassed us basically, and so ever since when that year was over, I think that's when some of the guys that were redshirted, some of the guys that transferred in, we just took a oath and that no one missed anything.
Yeah.
We didn't miss any workouts. We showed up and did what we did. And we were very successful after that.
Okay. Now, after your 2-year stint or your last 2 years, you played at K-State, y'all had a lot of success. What was next for Javante?
After I got done playing, financially, it was go time. I didn't have no one putting bills for me, helping me train. So I did the little pro day. I got that, did well, did one private workout, but, and then after that, I had to get a job. So I actually was a probation officer in Atchison, Kansas, another small town.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, so that one's like 30, 40 minutes outside of Kansas City.
So you left Manhattan and went to that little town.
And I went to another little town. I know, me and little towns. So I did that, and that was enough. I experienced, eye-opening because I'm trying to help people.
Right.
Everybody that helped me throughout my life, and gave back to me, that's all I think about sometimes, is giving back to people and helping people.
So now you went and became a probation officer.
Correct.
How did you like that, man?
It was a little different, because you think you are in control, but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
You go up, you do all the legwork, and not to say all the people are like this, but you go do all the legwork, do the paperwork, and then you go to the courts, and then you give me a recommendation, and then they decide to do kind of what they want. And so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and that's when around the time I met my wife.
Okay.
So and she's went to school here, so that was I met her, and I was doing that, and I really wasn't into it. I was coaching youth football, first time ever coaching fourth grade youth football.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always wanted to be a coach because the guy, my D-line coach in high school, Coach Crawford, he taught me some good things, and it just taught me how to continue to be a man. And so I wanted to model after him. I wanted to be a coach just like him and help impact kids.
So now I want you to tell me, after you met your wife, is that when you moved to Lincoln?
Correct. Yep. I met my wife, Sarah, and then we decided, that I wanted to get out and I wanted to start a new journey. So I came up here and was a para at Park Middle School for a little bit. And then that's when I started coaching at Northeast.
And you started at Northeast, basically at the bottom, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, I was. I came in, like I said, I was a para at Park, and I was a D-line coach at Northeast, fresh, thinking that I'm gonna go in and change the world. Basically, and these kids, they didn't know me, and I kind of didn't know them. I'm fresh out of college, and so I'm thinking like they're gonna, do everything I ask just because I'm a former Division I player, but it doesn't work that way.
Well, hey, look, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to finish on with your journey, okay? This is 93.7 The Ticket. It's to Get You Happy on Hour. We'll be right back.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Hi, I'm Jake from Lexington.
I'm Ellen from Ogallala.
My name's Ray from Sydney.
Hello, I'm Jenny from McCook.
Ryan from Lincoln here.
And I'm Steve from Omaha.
And we've all got one thing in common.
We all love trucks.
Which means we all want to win one of the 8th grade 2025 Ford F-150 XLT trucks in Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery.
So I guess that means we have 2 things in common.
Well, I love playing Trucks and Bucks.
3 things in common.
And we're all from Nebraska.
Sounds like 4.
And I think the gray color of the trucks this year is beautiful.
5 things. Guys, I just want to go to a Nebraska Lottery retailer, buy some tickets, and start playing today.
There's 6.
I like turnips.
I guess we stop at 6.
Trucks and Bucks, your Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket, is back. Top prize odds are 1 in 336,000. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company.
You grew up on cereal for breakfast and you graduated into drinking coffee at some point as an adult. Now there's a place in Lincoln where you can stay caffeinated but eat like you used to. Control Coffee and Cereal Bar brings Saturday morning vibes to every day with locally roasted specialty coffees, Lotus energy drinks, and tons of breakfast cereals with toppings. And did we mention they have video games to play while you're there too? Control Coffee and Cereal Bar open 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the weekends at 15th and Pine Lake. A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and March Madness is here, and Koppel is ready to rock and roll. We just closed the books on a tremendous February, and we're locked and loaded for a big March. True 0% APR is happening right now at Koppel on select new models. Koppel also has over 10,500 off list on new select models. So please stop on by and see what confident driving and confident buying is all about. We're right down 144th Street or online at copplecars.com. All deals with approved credit, 0% is standalone.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Man, I was just talking with my guest over the break, and you was telling me that you have been coaching. You started off at the bottom at Northeast as a D-line coach, and you've been there. This coming season will be your 12th season. Wow. Now, you've been the head coach over there for this will be your 4th year?
Yeah, this will be my 4th year as the head coach there.
And now, did you do like all other head coaches when they come in, they go get them a whole new staff? What did you do?
Nah, like you said, I started as D-line coach. Shout out to Lawrence Christensen for hiring me. He took a chance on me when I was a D-line coach. I was there, been there, seen a lot. And, it's crazy to think that this year will be number 12. And so, I've got turned down 3 times for the head coaching job. And so, got picked over a couple of times. I stay, me and my wife sometimes talk about it. I stay for the kids sometimes. Gotcha. You can go anywhere and be a coach. You can go anywhere and do some things, but sometimes the impact that you make on the kids is what makes you want to coach.
Now, I was just wondering, like your first 2 seasons, you didn't have a lot of success. Is that?
No, we didn't win a game, and that's tough. You got some kids, and they want to go D1. They want to do these bigger things. They want to become this star athlete. I teach them, and I talk about what is a star athlete. What does that look like? If it's all look glamorous and getting on the paper and doing all these things, then are you really a star? Or are you just there for the wrong reasons?
Right.
You need to be a positive role model in the community. You need to be a good husband, and you need to be someone that be someone that people can look up to.
Which brings me to the point. Is what I do for a living is I'm a motivational speaker, and I travel all over the country speaking. And the funniest thing to me, and I'm not accusing anybody, but I go to all these different states speaking to like high school, colleges, businesses. But I live in Lincoln, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Lincoln must be the only city in America that don't need speakers to speak to the youth. Is everything perfect over at Northeast?
No. Like I said, I've been there for 12 years, and we done had some things that happen. It's in the paper. but we also don't have positive things that happen that is not in the paper. But I think, when we get speakers and they get the district you got to go through the district and you got to do a lot. And, they put certain things above that. And, if that's what they want to do, that is true. I mean, that's on them. But, for me, I take a different route.
Right.
I connect with the kids on a different level.
Mhm.
And so, they might not think that's important. So that's why they probably haven't asked you to come in.
Well, I mean, trust me, I've slept real good without them asking. But I mean, just the person that I am, I like helping people. And I know that in my mind, that was kind of a trick question. I know there's issues because I see what these kids are having to, I see the challenges that they have. And I'm not saying I can save the world, but I could potentially help people if I'm given the opportunity. But I also understand the school district's point of view. If they acknowledge that there's an issue, then that means they have to put funding toward it. And I'm sure they would rather fund other areas, which is their choice. Not a problem with that. I just thought it was kind of weird. It's like I go all these different places around the country. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've been living here the whole time. It's like I come to Lincoln to rest, So I just thought that was kind of weird. So I thought I would ask. But now, this coming season, if I understand correctly, you had a little success last year. What are your expectations for this year?
Well, yeah, we had some success last year. We were able to put together some wins, but I want to say thank you to all my coaches that have been staying with me, and coaching with me for 11 years now.
Wow. Well, you know what? That shows a lot of unity right there, because especially when you're not having success.
Yeah, me and my coaches, we always joke. We say, "Where are you gonna go? We've been through it all together. You don't want to start over. You're gonna stay here."
Right.
And that's what I tell them. Like, we've been through the lows, we've been through the highs together, and so this year coming in, the expectations is high, and we have a young team that is eager to work. They're hungry, and we're able to string together some wins. And I tell them, you can't just do it on Friday. You got to do it in the classroom. You have to compete at every level, no matter what it is, and you got to act like a champion.
I agree with that. I think that's really important that you're as dedicated as you are to the youth, because no offense, I know 90% of the teenagers today, I know they're, in my opinion, they're smarter than everybody else. I get that, I know this is going to come as a shock, but once upon a time, I was actually a teenager. So I understand that, I called myself a genius when I was a teenager, because I felt like I knew everything and no one could tell me anything. But that's the one thing that I respect about your program, is you're working with these kids and trying to develop them into young men. That's very important, because unfortunately, a lot of our kids, I don't know what the logic behind it is, but I think a lot of them put a lot more emphasis on their peers' opinions versus an adult's opinion.
Yeah, I think most of them wants that consistency that they're
Mhm.
missing, and that's kind of what I talk to our players about, and some of the kids that's not even playing football, that is just in my classroom. Tell them act like a champion. It's accountability, consistency, and trust.
That's those are very important. They're just a hard sell for a lot of youth.
Correct. And so when they hear me say that, they're like, "Oh, what you talking about, man? Coach, you just talking." And I'm like, "Listen, you're never gonna trust someone that is not consistent to you.
Right,
You're
right.
never gonna be accountable if you can't be consistent.
Mhm.
So if you ain't got those three things, accountability, consistency, trust, or it goes backwards, you're not gonna go anywhere. So you gotta have something. And so we go through that, and when it happens to them, when they're not trusting the process. You're not in the weight room doing what you're supposed to. You didn't study for that test. You went out and did something and without studying for that test, and you get an F. Well, there it is right there. You're not trusting in yourself.
And then that affects your ability to play because you ain't got the grades.
Correct. And you can't tell me you want to go D1 and you're not doing the things you need to do.
Yeah. Well, D1 ain't going to accept no else.
Correct. And so, once we start going through that process, it's just they keep hearing me say it, then it starts to click. Like I said, I didn't win a game for the first 2 years. And so last year when I went into our meeting, I just asked our group, I said, okay, you guys do things your way. You have been. I said, can we please do it my way?
Mm-hmm.
I said, your ways, they say our way, we went 0-8. I say, now your way is you're over here. So you're going to do what I say when I say. And success will come. But you have to buy in to what I'm saying, to what, to yourself. And so I think a lot of teenagers are afraid to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
So I challenge my athletes to put yourself out there. Go sit at the table with the kid that ain't talking to nobody.
Right.
Go hang out with the kid that don't really have friends. Go talk to him in class, or go lift with him. Just be the oddball. It's okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, our athletes do that. They stepped up to the challenge. They want to be different. And so they want to change the narrative of Northeast.
Well, it looks like you're on your way, and that to me is you have to start somewhere. And apparently you're off to a really good start. And if I understand correctly, you got pretty high expectations for this year.
Yeah, I do. And our coaching staff do too. We believe that we can continue to have success on and off the field. And so, like I always say to them, what does success look like to you?
Yeah.
If you don't know what success looks like, then let's create success.
That's fair. I think that's fair. I'm just real impressed with the fact that, after going 0 and whatever for the first 2 years, that you guys stuck together. I mean, that says a lot. 'Cause it's real easy to bail after 2 losing seasons when you don't win a game.
Yeah, the transfer, like they say, the transfer portal is wide open. And you can go wherever you want, whenever you want. And so, some of the kids that stuck it out with me, I tell them all the time, I will never forget you.
Right.
Because you stayed here and you helped build this. And I told our team at the end of the last season, I said, guys, people are going to want to be a part of success.
Right.
And I said, they want to be coached by someone who is going to always tell them the truth. They want to be around a bunch of kids who always tell them the truth.
Well, I was just thinking with the recruiting process being the way it is with all the perks that they can now offer kids, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Because it seems like it's kind of distracting for a lot of kids. If you're in high school and you're watching this guy that's a year or two older than you with a huge NIL deal or whatever, seems like to me it may take away from a high school kid's focus.
Yeah, it would. It does actually. Everything that's going on in college right now, kids are seeing, and they want that. But they don't see the in between lines, the winter conditioning, and all that stuff you have to do before you even get on the field on Friday, the grades, all of that. And so, for me as a coach, the only best thing I can do is just continue to be honest with them and shoot them straight.
Yeah.
So, like I say, anytime that they say they want to do something, I call them out in front of their peers, and I say, hey, you telling me you want this, but you're not doing it.
Right.
Right. And, the other thing is, they could go from school to school to school, but that doesn't change your work ethic. And so if you ain't got that work ethic, you can go from Northeast to East to North Star to Lincoln, whatever you want to do. It's your work ethic still stay the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah. You're going to be the same person.
Yeah.
And, if you think, oh, you're quick to say, oh, coach didn't like me. or
Wow.
coach didn't give me the opportunity. Well, you're just placing blame on somebody else, and you're not taking ownership.
Right. Well, you got to earn your spot. And that's not just in football. That's just in life. You're going to always have to earn your spot. I think we're going to take one more break right quick, and then we're going to come back and wrap the show. Don't y'all go anywhere. This is 93.7 The Ticket. It's to get you happy on out.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
It's the two-fingered wave on a gravel road. It's letting the kids take Dad's truck to prom. It's Friday nights under the lights of a hometown football field. Eustace Body Shop knows small towns. It's where our values are rooted. We treat our people right, and in turn, they treat you, our customer, right. And we give back to our communities. Not much more small town than that. Eustace Body Shop, small town service, big city technology.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
LES wants your feedback. Help shape your electric utility's direction and priorities by taking an anonymous online survey. Make your voice heard before the survey closes on April 30th at les.com/survey.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey, what are you talking about over there? Huh? I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing. Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Your new Total Wine in Lincoln has the largest selection of wines, spirits, and beers, plus totally low prices and friendly service from our helpful guides. With over 8,000 wines, 4,500 spirits, and 2,500 beers, you're sure to find your favorites and something new. You can even order delivery, in-store, or curbside pickup. Find what you love what you find, only at Total Wine and More. Now open in Lincoln next to Gateway Mall.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard, increase security, and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we're back. Well, man, I'll be real honest with you. I've been educated tonight about everything Javante Boyd is doing, and should call you Coach Boyd, since you're a head football coach at Lincoln Northeast High School. Big shout out to the program there, and wish you guys a lot of success this year. I know y'all work hard because I get a chance to see that every now and then when I pass by. So very, very excited about your season this year. I just want to know, man, do you got anybody you want to shout out to?
Yeah, like I said before, all growing up in St. Pete, all the people who helped me on my journey to being the person who I am. Big shout out to those people. Big shout out to my family, my wife Sarah, my son DJ, and my daughter Jamie. They keep me on my toes.
Yeah, well, you got two little bosses at the house.
Yes, I do, and I know. All right, when I come in, my son's gonna say, "Good job, my boy."
So you think he's checking you out on the show?
Yes, he is, and my daughter is too.
Well, good. Y'all make sure y'all do me a favor. Y'all do everything y'all can to keep his pockets empty. That's y'all job. Y'all make sure you ask for everything you can ask for.
Yep, they do. Don't worry.
they got it covered, huh?
Yes, they do.
Well, again, man, I always try to err on the side of caution when it comes to, asking questions about anything, especially when it's involving someone's job. But I do want you to know that if you ever have a need for a speaker, RickyCSimmons.com is how they can reach me. And if they want to get some of this gear, they can go to that same website. They have the opportunity to buy some Get Your Happy On gear. So, like I said, just throw it out there, and if they're interested, fine. If not, we're still good.
I hope we can get that working.
Well, I hope so too, man, because like I said, I can say things to the kids that you as an employee can't.
That is correct,
because they have guidelines that y'all must follow, and I don't want y'all to break any rules. Let me break them. I break them. But no, on a serious note, if the opportunity comes up, and that's for any of the schools around Lincoln, I would love that opportunity. But if not, I understand. I won't hold it against them. I get it. But like I said, somebody needs to make sure that they eliminate "I didn't know" as an excuse for our youth.
Correct.
And I see a lot of these kids that I have spoken to in high school, and then I end up going into a prison. And I run into some of these kids that I spoke to in high school, and I'm thinking, what happened? Well, man, I didn't think you really knew what you was talking about, but I found out the hard way. I'm like, well, have a seat. You're going to be the only person in here bored today, because I'm going to tell you the same thing now I told you then. I like seeing people be successful. And I've made enough mistakes that I have given myself a PhD in making mistakes. So that's why I feel qualified to speak to people. So just keep that in mind. I do have another question for you. And this is usually the question I ask at the end of every show. When you finally get some downtime where nobody's requiring nothing of you, how does Javante get his happy on?
Well, for me, two ways: going on vacation with the family, and just relaxing and watching football.
Perfect. Well, thanks again, Javante, for being on the show. I wrap my show up the same way every week. Every day you blessed to say it's just another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on. Down. We'll see y'all next Sunday.